First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Welcome back to Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and we're here every weekday covering a wide range of topics and getting to have some really great conversations along the way. Right now, we are talking about Reach the Beach, which I'm sure some of you out there have participated in before because it's been going on for 36 years. One of those really seminal and amazing things that people can participate in, and all for a good cause as well. And that's what we're going to talk about, well, the race, but also the good cause. Joining us today, we have Julian Dillon from the American Lung Association of Oregon. And Julian, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation about the importance of all the things that we're going to be talking about when it comes to Reach the Beach. But to start off, I was wondering if you wouldn't mind, telling us just a little bit about yourself and the Lung Association and the work you do.
Sure. So, well, thank you for the opportunity. The American Lung Association has been around now for over 120 years. And they started out as a TB combating organization, but we have expanded into everything to do with the lungs. So there are, for example, 45 different lung diseases. I think everyone is very familiar with the ones you'd hear the most about, like lung cancer, you would hear about COPD, you hear about asthma. But we also want to deal with the underlying causes of lung disease. And whether that's tobacco usage, whether that is unhealthy air, whether it's radon gas in the house, it's all the different things that get into the atmosphere, get into our lungs, and cause us to be vulnerable to lung diseases.
And it's so many of those things out there. And so what you're doing then, I'm assuming, is probably across a bunch of different aspects of that, whether that's research, I would think, or working with people directly. Is it all of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. And the way it works is we have our national office, if you like, and those are where the real experts are, the scientists who decide which of the projects we want to put money into for research. But I'm very happy to report that Portland does very well because we have two key research projects being run here, one out of OHSU and one out of Portland State. So Portland continues to be a leader when it comes to investigating ways to improve our lung health.
Which is great for everyone. Talking about, some of the different ways to raise funds for that, one of those being with Reach the Beach. And would you mind, giving everybody this rundown here of what Reach the Beach is in case they haven't participated in it, because it's been going on for quite some time.
So Reach the Beach, it's a bike ride. That's the simple answer. But it's a bike ride for everybody. Because I think a lot of people out there, when they hear the word bike ride, they think of that person on a very expensive bike that's probably more expensive than their mortgage. And we think of them with all the fancy gear and everything else. What we've done with Reach the Beach is we've divided it into 4 different lengths. So you will have riders who will ride 100 miles, and they'll have those incredible bikes, and they'll wear all that incredible gear. But then we have a 75-mile length. We have one that's just a little under 50. And then we have one that's 24. And that last one is deliberately designed not to have any hills or climbs. The other ones, I should point out, do have a fair amount of climbing. But the idea is everybody has lungs. So everybody, no matter your age, no matter your health, you can be part of the solution. And we've even expanded to including e-bikes recently, which is actually one of the things I am most excited about. Because I think it's fair to say there would be riders who've been doing this for 34, 35, 36 years, and they would be feeling that, their physical ability was no longer able to support them doing something like that. Then along come e-bikes. And suddenly we get all these happy faces from people saying, I thought this was going to be my last year, but I'm back next year. And as long as I can balance on top of an e-bike, I'll keep coming back until we solve every single lung disease that's out there.
That's amazing. I mean, and those are some big hills if you're going over the Coast Range. There can be certainly be some big ones on there. And an e-bike is a nice boost. But the bottom line is, though, just continue to do that. You mentioned some people doing it for 35, 36 years. Are there people that have done it for all of those years?
There are people who've done it for all of those years. I mean, there's usually 1 year rather that people miss because of a family wedding or something like that. But our oldest rider turned 90 this year.
Wow.
And he's still riding. He rides with his family. Big shout out to Bob and his biker buddies. And our youngest rider, I may get this slightly wrong, he is about 12 years old, maybe 13. And I came across him when I first started doing this work with the American Lung Association about 5 years ago. He was about 8 years old then, and he was riding 100 miles.
Man.
So that gives you an idea of the scale of who and the range of who can do this ride.
That really does. Yeah, 8 to 90. I mean, that's a pretty good age range
Pretty
for it.
amazing. And we make it a very comfortable day in the saddle for people because we provide rest stops along the way. Whether you're riding the shortest or the longest ride, we make sure that you can stay hydrated, that you have snacks. Then one particular rest stop, we are famed for a certain salmon hash. So we provide that every year. And then when they get to the finish line, they get an incredible lunch, dessert. They get free beer if you want something alcoholic. If you prefer not that, of course, we have plenty of other options. We have three different food trucks that come in to provide different options. So lunch will include a choice of like a gyro style or a burrito style or a burger style. And of course, vegetarians and vegans are catered to as well.
This sounds amazing, quite honestly. This sounds like a fun.
So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this sounds awesome. But talking about, the good cause this is for too, to help combat those diseases or whatever it may be, find a cure or support people, how does the funding work for that? How does this help in that cause?
Sure. So what we will do is we ask, and you are required to raise at least $200 to ride on the day. We're not one of these organizations that makes you put down your credit card, and if you don't have the 200 raised, we just take the money out of your account. You make a decision. Either you decide that, yes, I will put this in from my account, or I will, instead, I will just simply skip the ride. But it's actually very easy to fundraise because there is this great statistic that the number one reason why people don't give to a charity is because they're not asked. So if you flip that the other way, it becomes the number one reason you don't raise money is because you haven't asked people. People want to be asked, even if it's a very small amount. People can generally find a small amount because, unfortunately, everybody knows somebody impacted by lung disease. So our aim is to raise $500,000, which we will then send to the scientists in Chicago in our head office, to the advocacy people, to the people who work with kids and provide free programs to help kids stop vaping, which is a very serious, significant problem at the moment, to get kids and adults off other ways of using tobacco. We get it into the hands of the experts, and then they send it back out to the places it is most needed. We have recently done a report, which on this event, part of the money we raise helps finance this. It's the State of the Air report, and it just came out, and it's called simply that, State of the Air. And I would urge everybody, all your viewers, to look at this, because you can go in, you can not just select Oregon, you can select your county, and it will tell you how the air is, how it compared to last year. So something may look bad, but you're able to look back last year and go, well, actually, it's getting better. So we are going in the right direction. And this just came out. And I mean, I'll give you an example of a couple of things that is in, you'll see in this report. If you're looking at the sort of Portland, Vancouver, Salem area, when it comes to what we call high ozone days, and I was just thinking before this, we haven't heard that word ozone nearly as much as we used to. We're doing quite well. So they ranked 226 metropolitan areas, and we're about halfway through. But actually a little less than halfway through, we're about a third. So we are, in the top third. But then we also ranked particle pollution. And out of 211 different metropolitan areas across America, we are right down at the bottom. There's only 3 or 4 metropolitan areas above us. So this kind of information is buried in this, it's in this report. And I would urge you, go in, put your county in. We can't get every county every year. Some counties don't report. Some counties we have to kind of alternate from year to year. But if you can't find your county, you'll find one very near to you, and you can find out what the quality of air is that you have been breathing, that your kids have been breathing, your grandparents have been breathing, so forth.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that's an extremely valuable information. I would imagine you can make some decisions from there about what to do, how to handle yourself, and how to protect yourself, I guess, a little bit better.
You do, and I mean, it can't be said enough. Information is help. Excuse me. And one of the things we also learned in this report that right across America, and this is really shocking, I think, almost 50% of people who are under 18 live in areas with unhealthy air. So that's people who may seem okay now. You talk to a pulmonologist. We have a great pulmonologist on the board, and she will tell us that she sees kids coming in. They may be okay now, but down the road, they are going to have problems. She has lots of adults who come in, and it can be traced back to where they grew up in some respect and the quality of the air and how it impacted their then developing lungs.
Wow. So important things for everybody to know, not only about yourself, but also for family members and people in your lives, and understanding that about, yeah, the youth. I mean, that's crazy. It's a crazy statistic on there, which shows how important it is to raise money and awareness and ways to combat some of these lung diseases as well, let alone the causes of them. And so for Reach the Beach, in particular, for this one, if people want to participate, you mentioned raising $200. Is it too late to raise money, or is
Nope.
it so
Nope.
it's something that people
Not
still
at
can't
all.
do?
Not at all. We have some fundraisers who are telling us they're going to raise about $5,000, and they've barely started, and we're 2 weeks to go, and I know they'll get there. So again, all you have to do is go to reachthebeachor.org, you register, you pay a registration fee, you register, and you just start sending emails out, or phone calling, or talking, or texting, and you just ask people. And if one of the interesting tips that I've learned is if you send somebody a text saying, "Will you support me?" They may or they may not. You send somebody a text saying, "Will you give me $35?" They will. If you're if you ask for something
Yeah.
specific, they'll give it to you. And that really is one of the secrets to fundraising made easy.
That's a very good advice. So ask for a specific dollar amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that does make it easier. It's like, oh, okay, here's what I can do right now. Well, anything else that you think is important for people to know?
Yes. Tell people how important it is to them. If you have had been impacted by a lung disease, whether you personally or someone you know or someone you love, you maybe even have unfortunately lost someone, tell them, share that story in the ask. Because as you know, Greg, we all get asked by so many people for so many worthy causes for support. And I think the ones that stand out, certainly for me, are the ones where I feel it's personal to the person who's asking. So
Yeah,
make it personal.
that personal connection. Well, Julian, thank you, for being on here to talk about this, and just for the work that you all do in combating these things and putting on Reach the Beach. 36 years this has been going, so a pretty incredible event. And honestly, it does a whole lot of good. It also sounds like a whole lot of fun. So it's a good
A
combination.
lot of fun.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
combo of both. Feeling
Yeah.
good all around.
Indeed.
Well, Julian, thank you very much for joining us here. I really appreciate your time, and thanks for all that you do.
Thank you, Greg.
And for everybody watching, we are live here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back in a little bit with some more for you. And we are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. So thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you in a minute with more.